curves. Extremely downforcey quad bike. There's so many people here. Steam train and over 50,000 spectators in attendance here. A monster truck. I'm so sad right now. They took my generator. Drag addition system. An ice cream that nearly cost me as much as the race weekend.
How old are you, Tim?
14.
14. Wow. I feel really old right now.
Gonna put 2 wheels on the grass.
Over 50,000 people here.
It's so hot in here. We should do like a little sauna challenge in my car. So you join me in my bedroom in the Sim Drill studio. We are about to get in the car and go to Donington Park, which I'm super excited for. It's going to be my third race weekend of the year. We did Brands, we did Silverstone. Now we've got the third best circuit in the UK, Donington Park. Argue with the wall. Yeah, I'm so excited. I've put all the hours in on Sim, and yeah, I'll see you in the car. Oh, wrong car. There we go. So we're in the car now. We've got an hour and 50-minute journey ahead of us to Donington. I have to go through all of that. You guys probably don't, because I can do my little YouTube transition thing. So when I snap my fingers, we will be probably quite frantically looking for a parking space at Donington. Yeah, so I was actually way too lazy to film anything when we got to the circuit. But I did do a nice little track jog once we'd finished setting everything up. So I'm going to overlay that footage and take this opportunity to talk to you about something quite important. Because I take it you guys probably don't want to hear 15 minutes of me just doing heavy breathing. So in just under 6 weeks from when I'm recording this, I'm going to be running the Born 10K in aid of Teenage Cancer Trust. Now I'm doing this because obviously I'm 14, but I'm also really blessed to be doing what I do. And there are a lot of people potentially my age who are going through some really tough times, and this charity really helps them out. So if you want to donate, the link will be in the description, and it's also in my Instagram bio. Thanks for your time, and let's get back into the video. But given that we have the running footage available, I'll give you guys a little track guide racing against my car. So we head down Craner Curve, very fast bit of track taken completely flat in these cars, down towards Old Hairpin, the fastest corner on the circuit. Probably isn't actually the fastest corner on the circuit, but it definitely feels like it. Come out towards that exit curb, then towards this left kink that doesn't have a name. That bollard gets destroyed within the first 3 laps of every session. Same with this one up here as we prepare for the little right corner that I also forget the name of. Down into third gear, take it in towards the curb, all the way out to this exit curb here, then this tiny little straight that you've kind of got to recoup and think about coppice. As we head back down to third gear, Louis gets quite a bit of a slide going through there, but we're going to head all the way out, carry all of the speed possible onto the back straight now, up to fourth gear before you've even left the corner. And now you've got all the time in the world to think about exactly how you're going to approach that final chicane. And you're going to need it because it's a big compromise between safety and speed. You brake after the hump, tip the car in, take a bit of this curb, take a bit of that curb, don't get anywhere near the tyre stacks, and that is a lap of Donington. Right, I think it might just about be time for a test day. So you join me in a very noisy Team OREX van, but we're just about to go out for testing now. I've had breakfast, I've had everything, we're all ready. I've got a new helmet, not for me, he's from my coach, but he's got earpieces and a mic in it, so I can actually hear him now. I'm not sure, I don't think we'll be able to overlay that into the video, which is probably for the better, but that's not the point. We've got all of that, and yeah, we're ready for the first session, so I'll see you on the track. So after a little bit of morning aura farming with Martin and Harry, it was time to hit the track and begin to do some early and moderately paced sighting laps. But it was on these laps that we found out that this circuit can be quite unforgiving, especially if you touch the wrong curves. So after our little rallycross adventure, a trip into the pits to make sure everything was okay, and another 10 minutes of learning the circuit, it was time for session 2. So session 2 was the first time we got to drive on our own, and it comes with some pros and cons. But nevertheless, we came out of the pit lane and began to build on what we learned in session 1. and it all seemed like smooth sailing to start off with, until we began warming up the car. See, when you first get out on circuit, the car's been sat in the awning for a while, meaning everything's cold. But after a few laps, the engine, tyres and brakes start to come up to temperature, and that's when we noticed the problem. The brakes just felt like they never really heated up, and always stayed in that state of not being very responsive. This wasn't a case of a massive issue or a potential failure, it's just one of those things that slightly chips away at your confidence, which isn't great, especially when you're learning a difficult circuit like this one that requires a lot of trust in the car. But while I wasn't 100% happy with the car, this was still a really valuable session, learning more about the circuit and what it will actually be like on race day. Plus, we're only halfway through the day, so there's plenty of time to sort the brakes out and get back out there. So that's what we did. And we pretty quickly found the issues. Number one was that the brakes were slightly glazed, but number two was that there was some debris, mainly gravel, in our brake calipers, and I can't figure out for the life of me how that got there. It doesn't make sense at all.
I don't understand. I don't know what's going on here.
But once my mechanic Charlie had cleaned and deglazed them, we were ready for session 3. And with Harry back in the car, it was time to really start cutting these times down. But we just kind of didn't. Even with the new feeling brakes, the confidence just wasn't there. This was actually a really demoralising session. Kind of just tiptoeing round for 20 minutes, not feeling like I could push any harder. To be honest, I was really not in the best mental place when I got out of the car at the end of this session. But we did have one last hope, and that was that for session 4 the team was changing the brake pads onto some new material. And to be quite honest, I still really wasn't optimistic going into our final session of the day. But after taking a lap or two to bed the brakes in, it just clicked. I was almost instantly 4 or 5 seconds quicker than I had been all day. Even more than that by the end of the session. But the time wasn't the important part. It was that I got out of the car beaming. It was the most positive way I could think to go into the weekend. So on that note, it was time for Saturday. But first, you know we had to do a little bit of paddock exploration. And we found a few things. Firstly, this extremely downforcey quad bike. I can only imagine this thing is just on absolute rails. The only slight problem being that it could have a little bit of a hard time getting through scrutineering. Alongside this, we also found our team's generator with an empty Oasis bottle on it. Now, why is this interesting? Well, it's because the vibrations of the generator was causing the empty bottle to bounce around, but not quite high enough to get over the lip and be able to jump out, meaning this thing had been bouncing around since about 5 in the morning, and it kept going the entire day. But after those two fascinating discoveries, it was actually time for Saturday. So we're here on Saturday. We've got 2 sessions today, Quali in the morning, and then first race also in the morning, and then we got the afternoon completely free, which is lovely. On a little side note, there's so many people here. There was actually over 50,000 spectators in attendance here. And not just that, but there was other insane things like this steam train, a ton of different stands, over 1,000 trucks, a monster truck, some drift cars, and even drift trucks, alongside all of the racing. Oh yeah, and a whole fun fair, showing once again how good this industry is for not just advertising, but stuff like B2B opportunities as well. So if you are a UK-based company and you want to find out more about this, you can email me here, DM me on my Instagram, or even comment. I do read all the comments and respond to all my DMs. Right, plug over, let's get back to the video. So it was time to carry over that momentum from the last testing session and put it to good use. So we were sat in the assembly area ready for qualifying. Got ready to round that final corner, ready for my warm-up lap, and...
Box.
Oh. Okay. Why was there a red flag at the start of Quali, you may ask? To be honest, I don't know to this day. I don't. But after a leisurely drive through the pit lane to get even more ready for qualifying, it was actually time to go out there and see where our pace lined up. And it wasn't half bad. Let me show you how I did it. So at the first corner, we pulled over and sufficiently let everybody through. And then we used that gap to great effect by aggressively warming the tyres up. Then hastily getting our first banker lap in, followed by another fast lap. See, this is not Formula 1 where you go out, set one fast lap for the race and then come in the pits and twiddle your thumbs. We've got 3 races where your top 3 fastest laps decide your position for each race, meaning you have to make the most out of the 15 minutes you get and then come in the pits and twiddle your thumbs. Yeah, that's right. The way it works is your first fastest lap decides the order for race 1, your second fastest lap decides the order for race 2, and your third fastest lap decides the order for race 3, meaning you can be on pole for race 1, last for race 2, and then back on pole for race 3. Doesn't matter, flying lap guide. So we come out of the final chicane, making sure to get a good run onto this quite long straight around here, down to third, flick the car in, over the curbs, then come out to the exit curb. You can see Louis Austin all up in my mirrors. I don't know if I'm going to let him through. Oh, so this is a cool down lap. You know what? Never mind. So now we are Louis free. We're going to come out of the chicane, get a good run onto the main straight, up to 4th gear, go down towards Redgate Corner. You're about 100 and something miles an hour. On the brakes, down to 3rd gear, flick the car in. A little bit of a slide as the rear gets out from under you. You clip that curb, come all the way out to this curb here using all of the track, up to 4th gear, down towards the famous Craner curve section, taking completely flat in this car near that bollard. Come in here close to this curb, swing it round as we head towards the fastest corner on the circuit, Old Hairpin. Nice long brake. If you are a coward like me, then flick it in, little bit of curb on that exit, nearly hit that bollard every single lap. It always gets wiped out. Then out to this curb here that you can't see because of the glare, into this curb here that you can see, down to 3rd gear as we flick it into the corner that nobody knows the name of, over these curbs, out to the curb on the exit. It's going well so far, up to 4th gear quite early as we head down towards Coppice Corner, then down to 3rd gear again, flick it in, hit that bollard, come all the way out to the exit, which I am not doing at all, then up to 4th gear just as soon as you leave the corner. Now you've got all the time in the world to think about the chicane, coming over these dips, braking right on that board, down to 3rd gear, annoy my engineer and clip a few of these yellow things on this side, come all the way out to the exit curb, up to 4th gear down the straight, and that is a pretty quick lap of Donington. So that lap and other ones like it was actually enough to give me my best qualifying of the year, putting me P9 for all 3 races. I think I might have been 10th or something for race 2 or 3, but it was P9 for race 1 at least. We'll take the positive round of applause. So now all we had to do is keep this momentum going and get ready for race 1. But right before our first race, tragedy struck. Something happened that I couldn't mentally or physically recover from ever, let alone in time for the first race. I'm so sad right now. They took my generator. It's gone. There's no more Oasis bottle. Two days. I hope he makes it through the whole weekend. That'll be amazing. Nearly fell down the stairs. Right. Oh, this is the wrong way up. That's a lot better. There we go. Yeah, so just finished Quali. It's yeah, been going really well. Nice little chair for me. Yeah, it's been going really well. P10 for this race. I've got no idea where we are for race 2 and 3. I'm assuming 10th as well. The pace feels really good. Literally 4 or 5 seconds quicker than the last session of testing just overnight. So it's just spot on. Like, it's really good. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the first race. And yeah, I'll see you in the car. Here we go then for our first race of the weekend here at Donington Park. We know roughly where we are pace-wise, but it's only a matter of time until we find out where we actually line up.
Just awaiting the cars to be released onto their green flag lap. There is the green flag, so away they go. We can take you on a lap of this 1.98 mile Donington National Circuits.
So we jump off the grid then and begin warming up our tyres and forming up in the queue behind everybody else, starting P10 for this race towards Redgate Corner. While it's only a few hours after qualifying, the track surface feels a little bit different. We've had 2 truck races on the circuit since that session this morning. So it's inevitably a little bit more rubbered in places, and it can be a little bit slippier in others. You can see the trail of oil proofing down the circuit here. That's because a truck did spill oil going down Craner curves, but that white powder is designed to make the track as grippy as it normally would be, so it's absolutely nothing to worry about. Our main priority now is just to get as much heat in the tyres and brakes as possible before the start of this race.
Number 14 alongside Tim Leonard, number 29.
To try and score a top 10 and get a best finish of the season, yeah. And as we parked up on the grid and awaited the lights, we were ready for race 1.
Wait for the marshal to display the flag at the back of the grid. There's the green flag. The Junior Saloon Car Championship. The red lights come on, the revs are up. It's time to go racing here at Convoy in the Park. Quite a long hole, but away we go.
And it's a good start, not too much wheel spin, but we are going to get caught napping by Lexi Powell on the inside, and our teammate Sherry as well. They're too close together to be able to cut to the inside. We are going to be able to hold off Bailey though as we head down into Redgate, but that is immediately down 2 positions. So we're going to fight really hard to try and earn those back. You can see Lexi all over the back of Sherry there, trying to find a way through as we head down Craner curves for the first time and into Old Hairpin. Almost 3 wide in the mid-pack there as we head down to the fastest corner on the circuit. Sherry goes slightly wide and Lexi is able to get that move done on the exit of the corner. Can we try and capitalise off of that as we head down towards McLean's? No, not quite. We're just not close enough. So the dust is beginning to settle after the first portion of lap 1 now as we head out of Coppice and onto the main straight, but nothing's settled in that mid-pack there. 3 wide down the straight as we head down towards the chicane, kicking up all kinds of sand out of that corner, and they nearly bang wheels as they head through that final corner. And they're still fighting down the main straight for what could potentially be P5. You can see them 3 wide still. Lexi Powell's now caught up to them as we head down towards Redgate. But the question is, what can we do to find a way past Sherry Ann? And it looks like there's contact there coming out of Redgate between Lexi Powell and Martin Wright. Fortunately, they should both be able to get going again, but we are going to be able to pick up 2 places from that and head back up to P10. And now it's just a case of trying to chase down our teammate for that P9 battle. And the gap would ebb and flow for the next 5 laps, but eventually we caught up to the back of that identically liveried 42 car. So we're going to dart to the inside of Sherry there as we head down towards the chicane. There's not really the space into that quite tight piece of track, so we're just going to hold behind, but we don't really get the best run onto the main straight, so she's going to pull a little bit more of a gap, making it quite difficult to think about a lunge into the first corner as well. But fast forward 2 corners and we've got a better run out of Craners as we head down towards Old Hairpin. We're going to use a bit more of the curb on the inside of the corner and get an even better run out of that corner, so now it's only a matter of time until we're side by side going over that left kink and towards McLean's. We choose the outside line into that corner, but we're going to are we going to switch? Are we going to stay? What are we going to do? We're just not quite close enough to get that move done. Are we able to pull a switch back? No, not quite. There's just not really enough momentum out of that corner and towards Coppice, and even if we did, it's quite hard to hold side by side through Coppice if you're not exactly side by side. So once again, very close, but we are now straight back in the slipstream as we go down the back straight, on the brakes, over the hill and down to 3rd into the chicane, but once again just not quite close enough to get that move done. But that doesn't mean we can't be in the exact same place a lap later, so we're going to have a look down the inside of McLean's, but we don't quite get the move done. I know hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think we definitely could have pulled that move off. But once again, we're going to have another opportunity going down the main straight. We're going to pull out of the draft quite early, look to the inside of the chicane, brake, side by side, but just braked way too early and gave up another send, which potentially could have been on. Now you can see Lexi Powell coming out of the pits again after her accident with Martin, so we're going to just dart to the inside and quickly get past her. Not really much of a hold up there. But as we reached the 3/4 mark of the race, it became evident that Sherry had done a better job of conserving her tyres. As with each lap she got faster and my pace just kind of dropped off a cliff, along with my 1000-degree fronts. So it looks like we just have to settle for 10th, but with a late race engine failure for Max Scharfegger and Bailey trying his hardest to catch up despite his drag addition system.
Now I know back in the early 2000s when modified Saxos were very popular among the boy racer community, they put big spoilers on them, but I've never seen one that big.
We would bring it home in P9, which is my best finish in the Junior Saloon Car Championship so far. Even though we didn't fight for this one as hard as Silverstone, I was still absolutely ecstatic. So now it was just a case of carrying the momentum onto tomorrow. There we go. Wow, very, very good. We're just going to check on our favourite racer, but no, it's, oh my goodness, I'm so happy with that. P9 at the end. Didn't quite manage to get past Sherry, but so good. Real shame about what happened with Martin. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's still on the trampoline. Real shame about what happened with Martin. But he was able to get right back up behind me towards the end of the race. So he should have hopefully a really good second race, a third one tomorrow. But aside from that, it was absolutely perfect. The setup is just perfect. I've said to my engineer about 5 times now, just do not change anything, because it's just perfect. I'm really starting to get my confidence now, and I'm really starting to rotate the car properly into old hairpin and some of those corners. Yeah, no, I'm so happy with it, and probably see you guys tomorrow, unless I do something eventful in the next 12 hours. Yeah, we did something eventful, given that it was only 12:30 and we had no more races today, but there were some fairly high profile people in the paddock. We did a little bit of interviewing. Who am I here with?
Dave Jenkins.
And not only did I get to sit in one of the race trucks, but I also met the real Tingle Tangle Bob from The Simpsons. It was amazing speaking to both Gus and David, so if you want to watch those interviews, I've linked them both in the top right. But what a way to add to an already brilliant day. So with all that in the bag, along with an ice cream that nearly cost me as much as the race weekend, it was actually time for Sunday. So we were up bright and early come Sunday morning for race 2 of the weekend. And to add to the list of stuff that's already happened, we got interviewed before the race.
Timothy Leonard, he's just behind us as well. Right, Tim, how are we doing? What do you make of your weekend so far?
It's been really good. We had a few troubles in testing, but no, it's going super smoothly. The 4th testing session onwards has just been amazing, and I'm so grateful to all the guys at OREX, because it's just the setup is perfect.
What's been the biggest thing you think you've learnt so far in 2025?
Obviously this has been my first season. I'm doing 3 races, but it's just how different this is from a kart. You know, you see, you just have to throw it in, but this is just so much smoother and gears. But no, I've learned a colossal amount this year, and just really excited to take it into next year.
How old are you, Tim?
14.
14. Wow. I feel really old right now. What's the long-term goal for you? Obviously JSCC next year, it sounds like, but looking sort of maybe 3 or 4 years into the future.
I don't know. It's so, the motorsport world's so varied. You have people obviously aiming for things like F1 or BTCC or stuff, but I love doing all this. I just want to be paid to race. Yeah. That's it. It's just be paid to do what I love.
It's great to see you. Good luck out there. Yeah, enjoy it, won't you? Let's keep moving on. Who haven't we spoken to?
So with that done and dusted, it was time to build on what we learned yesterday. So we round the final corner onto our green flag lap, ready to begin warming up our tyres and preparing for the race ahead.
Just under 2 miles in length, Donington Park National Circuit. The Craner curves sweep down the hill into the old hairpin, part of the pre-World War II circuit where the British Grand Prix was staged.
Now you may have noticed I've been promoted to 9th place on the grid, and that was because my teammate Martin had an unfortunate off-track accident overnight, meaning he couldn't race. But it is going to switch things up a bit on the start, as we're now on the inside, giving us a better chance to challenge into turn 1. And that challenge into turn 1 is about all you can think about as you weave from curb to curb on the back straight, round the final chicane, and park in your slot on the grid.
The green flag waves at the back of the grid, then the 5-second board is held aloft. Time to go racing here at Convoy in the Park.
So the lights are out and we're racing for the second time here at Donington Park. We're going to try and make the most of that space on the inside line by blocking off our teammate Sherry, but she's going to put 2 wheels on the grass and send it down the inside and in bold overtake into Redgate corner, and we've got no option but to concede the position. So it's back down to P10 as we head up to 4th gear and out of that first corner. You can see Lexi and Bailey in our rear view mirror, but aside from that it's fairly clean as we head down the Craner curves. Fast forward a lap and Bailey is right in our mirrors. He's going to send it down the inside at Redgate. We're going to leave the door open. We'll try the switchback, but it's not quite going to be on. We don't get on the power soon enough or have the right momentum. We're going to try and open that gap as we go down Craner curves, but we're just not there. And as you head through Old Hairpin, you can see a corner in advance, a yellow flag there, and Ollie Smith pulling off onto the side and unfortunately out of the race, but that does promote us back up to P10. So 2 laps later and we've got a really good run out of the final chicane, right in Bailey Roberts' slipstream. Snatch fourth gear as we head down towards Redgate. Are we going to go to the inside? Are we going to go to the outside? We're going to send it down the inside. The gap's there, but we just brake too early, and it compromises our dive bomb. We're not going to get the move done. You can see him sliding all over the place there as Lexi goes off into the gravel behind us. But unfortunately, no place is gained out of that ordeal. I'm going to be completely honest, from this point until literally 2 minutes until the end, nothing else really happened. The gap between me and Bailey stayed the exact same, and we just kind of held P10. But then with 2 minutes on the clock, the safety car came out due to an incident at Coppice, bunching the whole field up and giving us just one lap of racing. So the lights are off on the safety car. The question now is, when will the leader drop the hammer and make his run? We're going to head down towards the chicane. Third gear, there he goes. We've been caught napping a little bit as we head through the chicane, ending up smashing those yellow bits and getting a really bad run onto the straight, which is the last thing you want to do when you've basically got a one-lap shootout for a potential P9. But it looks like we're not quite going to be close enough to try anything for the first sector of this lap. And despite getting right up on the back of Bailey by the back straight, we wouldn't be able to get anywhere near an overtake. So we'd bring it home in P10, which was by no means a bad finish, and something I'm still super proud of. So with race 2 done and dusted, it was already time for our final race of the weekend here at Donington Park. A circuit, although I originally really didn't like, has definitely grown on me to be one of my favourites. It's similar to Brands Hatch in the way that it just has so much personality, with how different corners can catch you out and the seemingly infinite overtaking spots despite the twisty nature of the circuit. But it's not all over yet. So we got out of the car pretty positive and began to get ready for race 3. The only problem being, it's in 4.5 hours. Right, we're back on the chair. Race 1. Finished, done. Tyres felt good, brakes, just waiting for another 2 hours before race 2. The joys of racing with trucks. But no, I'm happy about it. They bring some amazing numbers, which are obviously great for the sponsors. Can you believe we've got over 50,000 people here over both days? Some incredible stuff. There's over 1,000 trucks here. There's a circus, there's wrestling, there's bumper carts, there is absolutely everything. So absolutely packed, and yeah, a great place to advertise your brand as well. Right, so I will see you, hopefully, if I make it there before dying of boredom, out in the car for race 2. But it didn't take us too long to figure out that a racetrack isn't the worst place to spend a 4-hour wait. So after surveying about every possible line through the first corner, it was actually time for our third and final race. It is crazy to think that this is the final race of this weekend. There's been so many ups and downs going through the entire weekend, which has not only made it one to remember, but it's also made it feel really fast. So the emotions were pretty interesting going into not just the final race of the weekend, but what would be my final race of the year.
Well, there are the Citroen Saxos on the grid then. Ollie Smith is back out. His car's been fixed from earlier on. Is Lexi Powell there? Yes, she is. Just awaiting the all clear then to get the green flag lap underway. The board is displayed. We can't see whether it's 1 minute or 30 seconds. It's been 30 seconds because there's the green flag and away they go.
So here we go then, our last green flag lap of the weekend, using all of the space of the track to try and warm up those tyres and brakes before the first lap, and also mentally planning out exactly what we're going to do when we reach Redgate for the first time. So as we came round the last chicane and parked in our grid slots for the final time, we were ready for race 3. All of our thoughts are once again on that start. Can we use the inside line to the best of its effect?
The race is about to get underway for the Junior Saloon Car Championship, race number 3 of their weekend.
So here we go then, the lights are up, the revs rise, and away we go. Max gets a good run in front of us there, but we don't get a bad start at all. Into second, you can see us checking our mirrors, covering off the inside line. We fumble the shift into third and let about everybody through, which is just amazing. That's exactly what we were planning to do. but from now it's just a case of trying to fight forwards and regain those positions. You can see side by side up in front with Lexi and Sherry, and some stuff going on in the mid-pack as well as we head down Craner Curves and into Old Hairpin. But so far, not really the start we were looking for there, dropping us down behind Bailey. To be honest, for the next kind of half of a race, we didn't really have the pace to make any substantial gains on the cars in front, more because we were just overdriving. But with only a few minutes left on the clock, we started to reel them in again. So with 2 laps to go, we're chasing down Lexi, going through Coppice, kicking up a bit of dust, coming out of the corner up to 4th and slotting into her slipstream, going down this long back straight towards the final corner, shaking our head trying to get the car to go as fast as possible. It's not karting, you can't do that, mate. So heading down to the chicane, braking just over the bump, on the brakes, down to 3rd, get it over the curb. You can see she gets a little bit of oversteer and just unfortunately goes off into the gravel. Luckily we didn't get any damage from this, but it did promote us up to P11, and that would be where we crossed the line for our final race, not just here at Donington, but this year. It's been such an incredible weekend. I've enjoyed it so much, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Taking our opportunity to wave to the crowd as we round this breathtaking circuit for the final time. This year's been such an incredible experience, from my first time in a race car, to driving Silverstone, to even finishing in the top 10. And while that's it for this season, I can promise you there's definitely more to come. But for now, let's just enjoy the moment. Just realised this is going to be the last time in this car for quite a while. Not forever, luckily. Not forever, but for quite a while. I will be back in it. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all of the guys at OREX Competition for making not just this weekend possible, but all of this. Brands, Silverstone, this, just everything. It's been really, really amazing. And Vicky, Dave, all of the people at JSCC as well. Yeah. It's so hot in here. We should do like a little sauna challenge in my car.